I'll tell you right now, and I hope you can see it. What you see is what you get. You know, I'm not a politician, I'm a public servant. I've been a public servant since I was 18. I am authentic, I'm genuine. You may not agree with me, but I'm at least going to be honest with you, and I am who I am. And so hopefully we can at least agree to disagree, but still I could have your trust. I'm a warrior. I'm a leader. I have been given a pioneering spirit that I just can't turn off, even if I tried to. So it is who I am, and with those skills and my experience, I just would ask that I could have your trust, that you would entrust me to serve you in Congress. I take that trust seriously. I want to be a good steward of that trust. Again, I am not a politician, so I look at this like I'm not asking you to empower me, but I am asking to empower you so that we can work together to make some things happen. Because this is our government. And I can't do it without you. This is not about, you know, Martha McSally needs to be elevated. This is about us working together. This is about us healing some of our rifts, both within this community, within the parties, between the parties, and in our nation. We have serious business to do, and we need to move out. There's no time for placeholders. There's time for action. Amen. I'm happy to serve you. And I'm happy to take any questions.
No questions on the Democrat. We're switching parties.
Here's our commercial. We have voter registration forms here, and we have petitions here. So our first battle in the war is to get the petitions to get on the ballot. And so we're excited to, again, bring our army of volunteers together in order to help us move out and get me on the ballot. So, thanks.
I have one, not question, but a comment. Please, if nothing else, do not talk about any other candidates until it's about you.
All right, what other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Who are these people who came to you 18 days ago?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, not 18 days ago. I was in the Alps 18 days ago. That was actually between 7 and 2 days ago.
Sorry.
Yeah, so, yeah, I want to introduce Shelly. Shelly, you want to introduce our team? Shelly Cass is my campaign manager.
I'd like to take a minute and introduce our communications director, Sam Stone. Our events coordinator, Becky Spann. Our scheduler, Susan Stacy. Our petition coordinator, Jason Winsky. I'm looking for Robert. Okay, well, the most important, our treasurer. And there's a lot more to the team. Ellie, I see you back there. There's our bank support. People who have come together to make appointments with us when it almost wasn't possible. But most important of all, our candidates.
Yeah, we would, if any of you have any time, we would love to have you come join us. We've just secured some office space, so we'll be up and running hopefully on Monday. But I really hope to turn this campaign into a community campaign that crosses age, that crosses gender, that crosses ethnicity, it crosses religion, because this is about our community coming together. So I'm really excited if you're willing to support to come out and do that.
What a great Arizona birthday present. Thank you.
I'm going to get the Latin wrong, is Deitat Deus, God enriches. That's our Arizona motto as we come to our 100th anniversary. We've got to keep that in mind.
Thank you So you've announced that you're running for Congress today. Both in your talk here this afternoon and on the radio this morning, you made a number of references to your faith and your church.
Yeah.
How does that play into your wanting to run and your political philosophy?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as I said, I very strongly feel that I'm called to this office this time. I wasn't seeking it. My faith matters to me deeply, and I'm stepping out because I really believe I'm called to do it. So my faith is very much a part of who I am, and that was really a part of sort of stepping out for that call.
Does that play into any of your specific policy positions?
Sure. I mean, my faith matters to me, and so my policy position should not be a surprise to people, based on being a person of faith. So,
like what?
I'm pro-life, as an example. However else, other things that will affect me as a Christian or other different issues that come up. That's my worldview comes from being a public servant and a Christian.
How does your military experience affect your political views?
Obviously, my military experience has shaped me. I've been serving in uniform for 26 years and then another year and a half as a civilian for the Department of Defense. So I've been involved in the national security, both at the tactical, operational, and strategic level, for our nation. And so my opportunities I had as a colonel, as a squadron commander, certainly shaped my understanding of the world that we're in right now, the threats that we have to our nation, and what we're facing, in this time. So those opportunities I've had have really shaped my understanding at the strategic level.
In a border, you'll be representing a border zone in a state that more than 50% of the people have voted to quasi-legalize marijuana. What's your stand on national drug control policy?
Yeah, again, let's just talk about the border right now, which is our most important issue.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of demand here that is causing the pull of the cartels to be fighting for different routes in order to get through the porous border and get up here. So I think we need a multifaceted approach in order to address it, not just at the tactical level, which is let's try and get control of the border so it's not so porous, but also looking at it operationally, understanding the transnational criminal elements that are using these routes, not just for drugs, but weapons, human trafficking and money, and we got to get a handle on what those routes are in order to, they're coming to meet the demand that we have in the U.S., so we have to get a handle on the demand side too. But we also have to look at the strategic level of our partnership with our closest neighbor and see if we can get to some of the root causes of what the people of this district are disproportionately being affected by, with what's coming across the border.
As pertaining to the border policy, do you think it's time to perhaps revisit drug control policy at the national level?
I'll be formulating lots of policy issues. I just came back from teaching international security issues at the Marshall Center 11 days ago. Mm-hmm. So as I'm looking at all these different issues that people are concerned about, I'll definitely be open to hearing all the sides of the arguments and just making assessments and coming up with policy positions.
Where would you place yourself on the middle of the road to conservative spectrum?
Yeah, I'm a conservative. I'm a fiscal conservative. I believe the government should only be doing the minimum things the government should be doing to protect our national security and to set the conditions so that the free spirit of the American people, the innovation and the free market can have this economy get going again and can have people have the opportunities that they need to have to live the American dream. So I'm a fiscal conservative in that way. I think our government debt is out of control. We got to rein it in. We got to choose wisely on what the taxpayers' dollar is being spent on. Otherwise, our next generations are going to be paying all their taxes in order to just pay interest on our debt. That's going on in Europe right now, and we don't want to get to where some of those countries are. So, in that sense, I'm conservative.
Should we cut, or should we try and raise more money, or?
Well, you can raise more money by cutting taxes so that you can generate innovation and private business in order to generate revenue and prosperity for the people, which then generates more revenue for the government. So, we need to look at spending our money effectively and efficiently on the things that the federal government should be doing, and only those things. And so we need to take a hard look at that and to make sure that we're being good stewards of every taxpayer's dollar that comes in, and we're spending it appropriately on what the federal government should be spending.
Having served so long in the military, do you look at the military budget as being bloated at all? Do you see room for cuts there? Well,
we've been at war for over 10 years to Iraq and Afghanistan. We've got some serious threats that are out there in our areas of vital interest and national interest, both in the West and to the East. And so we need a strong military. We need to be able to deal with whatever threats are coming around the corner. I think every department needs to be squeezing out efficiencies for sure, And so that's an important thing to do, because we got to make sure we're spending our dollars wisely. But we cannot have our national security be impacted or at risk as we're trying to make these difficult decisions.
Going back to your statements on personal liberty as a conservative, how does that mesh with your views on being pro-choice?
Well, again, as a Christian, I believe that life begins at birth, and my hope would be that as communities of people that we would provide alternatives to women in crisis that have a pregnancy that is not wanted, regardless of the circumstances, and that they would have options to be able to consider, allowing that baby to come to life and have other options for them. So,
with regard to that, what do you think about the president's stand on prophylaxis being, religious institutions be required to offer prophylaxis through their healthcare programs?
Yeah, this is just another indication of the federal government overstepping its bounds. I mean, it's more of just another example of the federal government shouldn't be in the business of directing all these things to include how to do healthcare. If we just let the free market economy do what it does best, and then you allow people to choose what health insurance they want, and if it has birth control available, they'll go to that one. If they don't want it, they can go to another one. This should be in the business of individual citizens and the private economy. It shouldn't be something that the federal government is dictating. This is just one of many things that they've overstepped their bounds on.
So in that case, how can the federal government then dictate abortion policies?
Again, we have different views on that, and we're going to agree to disagree. So.
Well, I don't have a position on that officially. I'm just simply asking.
Yep.
I think I'm good. Anything else
that's
you
it.
want to get out there to, as part of your first day in the campaign?
You heard my spiel before, right? So.
Yeah.